大家好，欢迎来到我们的深刻美国节目。在这集节目中，我们将揭开一起惊人的事件，视频最终被证明是俄罗斯宣传的产物，却在无意中助长了美国选举过程的操控。AlphaFox 在接受CNN 采访时透露，他收到了俄罗斯代理人西门·博伊科夫的$100付款，以分享这段误导性视频。这一事件不仅揭示了社交媒体上信息的真相与虚假交织，更反映出外国势力。请大家继续收看详细内容。In the ever-evolving landscape of social media, where borders blur and information flows unchecked, an unsettling incident underscores the vulnerability of digital platforms to manipulation. It centers around an American influencer, known online as @AlphaFox78, who unwittingly found himself at the epicenter of a Russian disinformation campaign aimed at sowing discord ahead of the 2024 U.S. presidential election. This narrative, reported by CNN, reveals the intricate web spun by foreign operatives and the unintentional role of social media personalities in disseminating falsehoods. AlphaFox78, based in Massachusetts, had garnered a substantial following of over 650,000 users on X, formerly known as Twitter. A fervent supporter of former President Donald Trump, he routinely shared content aligning with his political views. However, in this instance, his platform became a vessel for a piece of fabricated propaganda, a video purporting to show a Haitian immigrant bragging about casting multiple votes in Georgia. It was later exposed as a complete fabrication, orchestrated by Russian influence agents, designed to undermine trust in the U.S. electoral process. The influencer, maintaining anonymity during his conversation with CNN, disclosed that his involvement was not entirely innocent. He was financially compensated for his role in circulating the video, a mere $100 paid by Simeon Boykov, a registered Russian agent and podcaster known by the moniker Aussie Cossack. Boykov, notorious for his pro-Kremlin narratives, had engaged AlphaFox in a transactional relationship, paying for several posts over time. The Georgia Secretary of State later confirmed the video's inauthenticity, revealing it featured actors and forged identification cards. In candid interviews through phone and text, AlphaFox admitted to a lack of due diligence. He did not verify the video's claims before disseminating it to his vast audience. "I don't have any idea where it came from or anything, I'm just the guy who shared it," he confessed, inadvertently highlighting a worrisome trend where social media influencers, often perceived as credible sources by their followers, can inadvertently become agents of misinformation. Simeon Boykov, meanwhile, had recently acquired Russian citizenship and was seeking refuge in the Russian consulate in Sydney, Australia. His involvement in this disinformation campaign was not an isolated incident but part of a broader strategy by Russian operatives. Darren Linville, a disinformation expert at Clemson University, drew parallels between this tactic and legitimate business practices, noting that just as companies use influencers to market products, foreign agents exploit these digital figures to spread their propaganda to engaged audiences. The previously undisclosed connection between AlphaFox and Boykov underscores the lengths foreign actors will go to infiltrate American discourse. AlphaFox revealed that his relationship with Boykov began with innocuous meme sharing but gradually shifted toward more politically charged content. He admitted to not fully comprehending the ramifications of his actions at the time. "It started with memes and it seemed innocent," he reflected, now expressing regret for his part in propagating disinformation. Despite his professed ignorance, the impact of AlphaFox's actions was profound. The video he posted accumulated over 2.6 million views before he removed it, but by then the damage was done. Variations of the video continued to circulate across social media, perpetuating the false narrative and straining Georgia's election officials as they attempted to counteract the misinformation. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger was vocal in his criticism, emphasizing that lies should not be weaponized to divide Americans and erode trust in democratic institutions. Following the incident, AlphaFox voiced remorse for his unintended role in the disinformation campaign. He maintained that misleading people was never his intention and called for increased vigilance among social media users when sharing content. "People need to be more vigilant when they share things," he urged, acknowledging his part in the broader narrative of Russian interference in American democracy. Yet, AlphaFox's experience is emblematic of a larger phenomenon. The digital domain has become a battlefield where real individuals, often unwittingly, serve as conduits for foreign disinformation. Linville pointed out that operations like Storm 1516, the Russian disinformation network responsible for the video, rely heavily on the trust users place in influencers they have followed for years. Real people have become important vehicles of Russian disinformation. "It's not all about fake accounts anymore," he explained. As the 2024 election looms, the implications of this incident resonate with urgency. The intersection of social media, trust, and disinformation poses a significant threat to the integrity of democratic processes. While AlphaFox may consider himself merely a disseminator of content, his actions under a pervasive issue necessitating immediate attention. The challenge lies in educating users about the potential consequences of their online behaviors and cultivating a culture of critical thinking in the digital age. In the end, AlphaFox's story serves as a cautionary tale about the vulnerabilities inherent in our increasingly interconnected world. As social media continues to shape public discourse, the necessity for vigilance and discernment becomes paramount. Though the price of disinformation may be as trivial as $100, the true cost to democracy is immeasurable. 欢迎大家进入6度探索的辩论环节。我们从正反两个角度对本节目进行辩论，请出我们的辩论高手楚天舒、谢琪琪。
我是楚天舒。
我是谢琪琪。
Disinformation campaigns, like the one involving AlphaFox, are dangerous precisely because they exploit trust. Social media influencers have become like digital town criers, and when they spread false information, it can sway public opinion and even affect election outcomes. Without stringent checks and a sense of responsibility, such influencers can inadvertently become tools for foreign adversaries. The price of democracy is eternal vigilance, and in this digital era, that means we must hold influencers accountable for the content they share.
Oh, come on, blaming influencers for disinformation is like blaming pigeons for carrying gossip in the park. These influencers are not journalists, they don't fact-check, they just share. If we start holding them to journalistic standards, we'll need to provide every influencer a newsroom. The real issue lies with platforms that allow disinformation to spread unchecked. Expecting influencers to be the gatekeepers of truth is as unrealistic as expecting your dog to manage your stock portfolio.
That's a classic deflection, like blaming the mailman for delivering a dubious letter. Look, influencers choose to wield the power of influence, and with great power comes great responsibility, as Spider-Man taught us. They can't just shrug off the impact of their posts. Just as companies rely on influencers to boost brands, foreign entities exploit them to sway opinions. It's crucial to emphasize that fact-checking is not an option but a necessity in the digital age. This isn't about turning influencers into journalists, it's about encouraging a culture of responsibility.
Ah, the Spider-Man argument, my favorite. But let's be real, the digital world is the Wild West, and influencers are just trying to make a living, not save democracy. If you want fact-checked content, go to the New York Times, not a TikToker. The real culprits are the foreign operatives sowing disinformation and the platforms that let it spread like wildfire. We need better algorithms, not scapegoats. Influencers are just the unwitting middlemen in this information relay race, not the masterminds.
True, the Wild West analogy is apt, but even in the Wild West, there were sheriffs. Influencers must recognize that they aren't just living in this digital landscape, they're shaping it. By being more discerning, they can prevent becoming unwitting agents of chaos. The platforms should indeed bear responsibility, but influencers are the first line of defense. Remember, AlphaFox's video didn't just stop at 2.6 million views because it was catchy, it spread because people trusted him. That trust is precisely why influencers must step up as ethical content curators.
Sure, let's make influencers the digital sheriffs. Maybe we can give them badges and start a new reality show. On a serious note, expecting influencers to act responsibly, while nice in theory, ignores the core problem, the accountability of platforms. Until they crack down on disinformation with the same zeal they do copyright violations, nothing will change. Influencers are playing the game with the rules they've been given. They are not equipped, nor should they be expected, to police a system that is fundamentally flawed. Let's focus on fixing the digital town, not just its town criers.
我是评委合理，我想对2位精彩的辩论做出评论。在这场辩论中，楚天舒和谢琪琪针对社交媒体影响者在虚假信息扩散中的角色展开了一场激烈的讨论。楚天舒强调影响者的责任，认为他们的社会影响力使其必须承担更多的道德责任，而谢琪琪则认为将责任归咎于影响者是不合理的，真正的问题在于平台的管理和外部势力的操控。楚天舒的论点具有一定的说服力，他引用了蜘蛛侠的名言，强调权力与责任共存，指出影响者的活动直接影响公众意见和民主过程。然而，他的观点在某种程度上忽视了影响者的本质，他们并非专业的新闻工作者，且在大多数情况下并不具备严谨的事实查核能力。 他对影响者的期待可能过于理想化，未考虑到他们在商业驱动下的行为模式。谢奇奇的回应则相对现实，他强调了平台的责任，认为在当前的数字环境中，影响者只是一个中介，无法对信息的整体流通负全责。这一点无疑是合理的，因为社交媒体平台在信息扩散中扮演着至关重要的角色。然而，谢奇奇的比喻过于轻松，将整个问题简化为不应期待影响者成为新闻工作者，而忽略了影响者本身所拥有的影响力及其可以发挥的积极作用。两位辩手的观点虽然有其合理性，但都未能充分认识到当前数字时代的复杂性。楚天舒的呼吁是对影响者负责任的美好期望，但缺乏具体的可行性，而谢奇奇的论点虽然强调了平台的迫切必要性，但却未能提供对影响者角色的充分理解。未来的讨论应该把焦点放在如何建立一个更负责任的社交媒体生态系统上，寻求影响者与平台之间的合理平衡。总体来说，这场辩论启发了我们对信息透明度和责任的深刻思考，但也凸显了责任分配的模糊性。希望未来能有更深入的探讨，让我们在追求信息真实性和民主价值的道路上找到一条可行之道。
思想先驱报，成为有洞察力的人。华尔街电视特别节目，纽约时间每天早上8点，李奇博士主持。和平评点。谢谢大家收看6度探索。这是一个由科学家、经济学家、媒体人、工程技术人员合作建立的新型媒体，网友与6度 AI 参与合作完成各种内容，这些内容不能作为任何决策或法律的意见。这是一个新型的试验性媒体方式，我们希望得到大家的支持，修正错误。网友可以参与讨论，也可以向万能的6博士提出你能想出的任何问题。6度世界网址是6度 World， 请介绍给你的亲朋好友。